Well, my mother is in the kitchen doing something, and this time she sort of stayed out of it because sometimes she comes to help me, and this time she just stayed away from it. I think she's also afraid of him.
Okay.
And my sister is not home.
Not home. So you're feeling angry and you just want to get away, but you're too little to go anywhere.
Yeah, and I wish my nanny were around, but she's not. This is a day that she's not here. I don't know where she is. So I'm alone. I don't have my sister. I don't have my nanny. And my mother's not helping me. And I'm frightened.
So you're frightened and you're alone and you just wish you could go. And you're angry.
I'm very angry. I'm very upset. I'm very hurt.
Very hurt. So let yourself just feel that. And in that hurt, what is it that you need?
What is it? What?
What do you need as this child right now?
I want somebody to hold me and protect me. I want protection from my dad.
Right.
I would prefer that he would come and say he's sorry and take my hand and take me inside the house again.
Well, do you have an inner father intact that you could call on that's your whole, healthy inner dad?
Yeah.
Want to call on that inner father to come get you?
Yeah, that inner father is completely different from my real father.
This inner father knows you, cares for you, is sensitive to your needs, is available, is present. So call him in and let him take your hand.
Sometimes I think he is my real father.
Yes. Yes. So how does your real father respond to you after being scolded, cast out of the house on the doorstep? How does he respond to you?
He says that I am too little to be given such a responsibility to be, you know, serious and understand what's going on. And that I am a joyful child, and I should be loved for that.
Yeah, be loved for being such a joyful little girl. So he's going to take you somewhere now where you can be safe to be that expressive, joyful little girl.
Yeah, he takes me by the hand, and we go to the street.
What do you do when you get to the street?
Oh, we're just walking, you know. It's a street that is still not paved. So here comes some cows from the nearby ranch. And I'm glad to see the cows. And I feel at peace and protected.
You can just be yourself now. Just be your joyful little girl self. And you're safe.
But I'm still mad at the dad inside the house.
Right. So what are you going to say to this inner father about how angry you are? What do you want him to know about that? How do you want to express?
I say, I wish you were my real father. I wish I could be protected all the time and not have to deal with this guy who yells at me and who doesn't like me. And I don't understand why he doesn't like me.
And what is your inner father's response?
He says, well, you have to understand that he suffered a lot. He's an older guy, and he lost his sense of humor.
So I think, is he trying to say that this really isn't about you? It's more about him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his problem.
It's his problem.
You know. But I'm saying, but I'm too little to take on all this responsibility.
Yes.
Because, you know, my mom and dad lost 2 children before I was born. And I'm not guilty of that. I was not even born when they died.
Right.
Why should I take the brunt of it, of their unhappiness?
Oh.
They are unhappy, you know, their marriage is not that good. They're not happy with each other, and they're tormented by the loss of those 2 kids.
So explain what happens to you when you come into this family that affects you by taking on this guilt. How does this happen?
Well, see, that is the whole, you know, now I don't see it as a child, but I see it as my higher self is speaking to me.
Yes, what she's saying to you.
They're saying, you know, it was your choice.
What was your choice?
You chose to come to this family.
Yes. So let's look at this choice that you made to come to this family of parents whose marriage not too stable, that have already lost 2 children.
You came to bring joy.
You came to bring joy.
And your mom is able to accept it, but not your dad.
So let's look at this dilemma of you coming to bring joy when you're with parents that aren't very joyful.
Right?
Yeah. How can you bring joy when people won't allow joy?
I don't know, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder who you came to bring joy for, ultimately.
Well, to myself and to my descendants.
Okay, so just take a look at that. Now, your inner father is there with your higher self, and he's going to talk to you about how you took on this heavy burden of trying to get unjoyful people to be joyful who've lost 2 kids, and how you're bearing the guilt of them not being joyful. Maybe even a little survivor's guilt for having survived when the other babies didn't.
Yeah.
So what's your higher self have to say to you, or your inner father have to say to you about all that burden that you took on?
That all of this is going to give me a lot of strength. And I'll survive all of them.
And what are you going to do with all this strength? How is that going to support you and others?
Well, I'm going to be able to bring happiness to others.
From that place of strength, just let yourself feel that you're going to be able to bring happiness to others. And the others that you can bring happiness to are those that are open to it, ready for it.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't force it on your parents.
Right.
Yeah. So I wonder if there's some way that your higher self and inner father can support this child part of you and letting go of some of this huge burden of responsibility, letting go of some of this undercurrent of guilt.
Yeah, because nothing that happened to them was my fault.
Can you see that now?
Yeah.
So there really wasn't any guilt, was there?
No, I was just too lively and happy to them, for them. You know, they were not used to that.
Okay.
And besides, although I was afraid, I never showed that I was afraid.
Right.
So he was angry, and now I understand it very clearly. He was angry at me because I was not afraid. He wanted me to be afraid of him.
Well, some part of you was afraid, but you didn't show that you were afraid, right?
No, I was, he always used to call me a little pest.
Mm.